Hello, guys, this is Madhur Agarwal once again with another episode of the Sunday Capsule podcast series. This is our sixth episode, and as you have read the title already, we are going to talk about brakes. As we all are familiar with the first law of our beloved scientist Newton, an object will remain in rest or motion until and unless an external force is applied to it. So, in that case, brake is a form of friction, or we can say that external force about which Newton talked about. And we know that the friction causes heat. That's why we often term it as a necessary evil. You have probably seen the mechanism of brakes in your bicycle. When you press it, the brake would force the shoe against the wheel in order to slow down your bicycle, and which eventually stops. There are generally two kinds of brakes which are present in motor vehicles. First is a drum brake, which is a cost effective solution, and the second one is disc brakes, which are present in expensive vehicles. Let's talk about drum brakes first. They are called drum brakes because the components are housed in a round drum that rotated along with the wheel. Inside the drum there are set of brake shoes which works exactly like as of a bicycle. The brake shoes are made up of heat resistant material. Unlike mechanical method used in transferring the movement of brakes to brake shoes, a special kind of fluid is used. That's why it's called hydraulics. Well, if you're wondering why we use fluid to transfer the brakes, it's because of one of the very interesting property of fluid mechanics, which in simpler words states that we can increase the applied input force on a fluid by creating a difference in their areas. Now let's talk about some of the drawbacks of the drum brakes. In normal conditions, they work just fine, but when there is a need of rapid or high braking, like in descending a hill, drum brakes become less effective. Reason being too much building of heat. As we are all familiar with by now that the brake shoes are made up of heat resistant material, but at a certain point they become saturated, which means they are unable to capture more heat, thus making it less effective. Now let's talk about disc brakes. Disc brakes also work on the same principle. They act as a friction, but the change that sets the disc brake apart from drum brakes is the design. Instead of housing all the components in the metal drum, the disc brakes uses a combination of rotor and a caliper to halt wheel movement. Within each side of caliper, the two brake pads are fitted, one on each side of the rotor. Although, like drum brakes, the mode of transfer of brakes to the shoes are similar, which is fluid. So, why it is more effective? The rotor is directly exposed to air, thus providing better heat dissipation. So, I hope that you by now familiar with the braking system as well as their different types. So that's it, guys, for now. Hope you enjoyed our podcast. Don't forget to rate us on your respective platforms. Thank you and take care.